couldn't heard anything I said anyway because his stomach was too loud. His stomach was growling at him as I'm sitting over there yelling words to him. It wasn't until we fed that man that he could hear what I was trying to tell him in the beginning.
All right.
Esther found herself in an advantageous situation. We may feel like our situations aren't that important. Or more importantly, we may feel like there's nothing we have to give. But I want you to remember two things if you don't remember anything else. Number one, God gave you a gift. And number two, the gift is because there's somebody else that needs it.
All right. That's right.
Now, I'm almost done preaching. Let's get into the scripture really quick. Esther, this is chapter 7. Now the king and Haman had come to drink wine and Esther with Esther the queen. And the king said to Esther on the second day of his party, when they were already drunk with wine at the banquet, my queen Esther, what is your petition? Whatever it is, it shall be granted unto you.
That's right.
He was trying to kill her. Now at this point, she still hadn't revealed to the nation who she was. They didn't know, he didn't know.
Right.
Day 2, they already drunk again for the second day. And the king goes, baby, whatever you want. Whatever you want. Even if it's half of everything I got. Now that's a lesson for some wives too, but that's another sermon. The queen responded, this is verse 3, if I have found favor in your sight, O king, and it pleases the king, let my life be given as my petition. She started to present herself as an example of what it is she was about to ask. Now remember, on the table is her life, cousin Morty's life, all of the other Jewish folk lives, and anybody that thought they were Jewish folks' lives. Okay? So she was presenting herself as an example of what she was about to ask for. She said, me and my people, for if we had been sold to be destroyed and killed or annihilated, but if we had been sold as slaves, men and women, I wouldn't have said a word. Because remember, slaves are property. But because we weren't taken as slaves, I have a request. Verse 5, the king asked Esther, who is after you? See, Esther told him, somebody out to get us. And if we were just your slaves, this would be nothing to talk about. I'm supposed to be somebody's specialty. Right? Esther was quick in her response. A foe and an enemy. And then she, Haman, of course, became terrified because the king was real happy with his queen. He had even promised half his kingdom she had asked for. Now, I want you to see what's happening here. Esther has made her request known to the king. She's begging for her life from her husband. All right? The husband has signed a ridiculous law to kill all the Jews. And now he realizes that things are not what they seem. If you notice, the king asks, who is this folk? Who would do this? Who after my wife? See, I don't know if you have experienced a good husband. Not that I have experienced that. I try to be a good husband. But if somebody comes after my wife, they got a problem. And it's not going to be with the scriptures I can quote. It's going to be the best way I know to defend my wife. I need you to understand that. This man looked out and saw his wife in danger, and he did what any good husband would do. He reacted. He asked the question, who after you? And Esther responded, that man sitting right there next to you. Now, what does that have to do with the context of our revival this week? Number one, Esther would have been considered a nobody. But God elevated her to her position. So it doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter where you came from yesterday. If God can take Esther out of the orphanage and put her in the palace, then he can do the same thing for you. But I need you to remember, God is not going to place you anywhere just because he thinks you cute. All right? You are sitting on a gift today. I know you are because I know you. I've watched you grow. I've watched you develop. So I know you're talented.